Hello everybody, this is Money Mom. Welcome back to the channel. I want to tell you guys something. If I had to rent or buy a new home in the Dallas, Texas surrounding area right now, I wouldn't be able to, and I'd have to move to a small town. Let's get started to talk about it right now. One of you guys, or actually more than one of you, said that you guys think one of the huge reasons many people are struggling financially right now is they can't afford to buy a home or rent, and their living costs are so much higher than what their income is. And guess what? I did a lot of research and I found out you guys are absolutely right. Let me share with you my findings, and then let me share a little bit about our family. So, one of the things I found out is that home prices have increased 4 times the rate since 1960. What does that mean? Wage growth has not kept up with the cost of living. You used to be able to buy a home and be able to afford it, or you could rent an apartment and afford it. Example, when I moved to Dallas, Texas in 1988, it was $300 for me to rent a 1-bedroom apartment. Now, electricity wasn't included in that, but that was a fair price. It did go up a little bit over the years because I was in that apartment 7 years, but it was affordable for the time. This is another finding that I found. I don't know if you guys know what percentage of your income should go towards certain things, whether it's investing, saving, food, transportation costs, living costs, but we should not be paying more than 30% of our income to either rent or buy a home. So for example, if you make $3,000 a month, your rent should not be, or house payment should not be more than $1,000 a month. And I've known of folks that they may bring in $3,000 and their rent is $1,500 or even $1,600 a month. That doesn't leave you a whole lot of wiggle room for all the other things, especially saving, which we all know is so important. And so I thought, you know what? I'm going to do a little bit of research and figure out what does it cost to live in the Dallas, Texas area. I live in a suburb of Dallas. I live on the border where Richardson, Garland, and Dallas all come together. And in Garland, I thought I'm going to look these up. Mind you, these places I'm looking at, they're not fancy at all. If you were to look at them, you'd say, oh, they're okay, but they're not really nice. A 2-bedroom, 2-bath home, 950 square feet, $1,400 a month. I could not believe it. I wouldn't be able to afford that. A 3-bedroom, 2-bath home, it was 1,700 square foot. It was $1,900 a month. Another one that was about 1,900 square feet, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, $2,100 a month. These places did not have fancy homes at all. Their homes, I think, were built in the 60s, so there wasn't anything, you know, like I said, really, where you're going, wow, that's worth the price. Apartment, a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, the average one in our area is $1,250. Average rent in this area, this I think is for a 1-bedroom, is $1,148. I was really surprised it was that high. I thought it'd be at least a little bit lower. I thought maybe the average rent for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home was maybe $1,700. Boy, was I wrong. If you rent a house or an apartment that has only 1 bathroom, it does decrease. I will say that. Now, I started looking at small towns all around the United States. I looked up Woodward, Oklahoma, because I have a friend that lives somewhere around that area. She doesn't live there. You can get a 2-bedroom, 2-bath apartment there for $725, and the average 2-bedroom is $633, and I thought that was good. And if you want a 3-bedroom, 2-bath apartment, you can get it for $1,150. So it's a lot more affordable if you can live in a small town. Now, I was thinking about this, and I wanted to share with you the cost of what it's cost for us to live since I moved to Dallas in 1988. I wanted to share with you what I've paid to all these places. If I, for some reason, had to move, let's just say that they had to demolish all the houses on the street, or for whatever reason, I had to move out of this house, doesn't matter why, I would not be able to stay in the area. I would have to move to a small town, because the most that I could pay living my costs for the money that I bring in every month would be $1,100 a month would be the highest I would pay. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't want to go over $1,000, because otherwise I wouldn't have money for a lot of the other things, and I wouldn't be able to save. at all. So I'd really be up the creek. So I'd have to move to a small town. And, you know, a lot of people are doing that. If you work from home, you can do that. The good thing is since I do YouTube in schedule, I can go anywhere as long as I have internet. The only thing is I wouldn't probably be able to do my demos and merchandising, but I kind of thought about that. And a lot of people that I've known over the last few years, I know I have one friend who, actually a couple different friends who have rented rooms so they could save money because they couldn't afford how much that apartment cost to rent. I've actually known some people over the years where families kind of live together, you know, either like adult children might live with their mom and dad, and maybe their kids live there, and they all live in a bigger home and they all share the cost, like extended family living together. You may have grandparents, you know, things like that, just to save the money. You know, I especially was really shocked at the $2,100. So when I first moved to Dallas in 1988, I spent $300 on a 1-bedroom, 1-bath apartment, didn't include electricity, and it was 533 square feet, lived there for 7 years. And so that was in 1988. Then the next place we bought, and this was in the early 90s, or not bought, rented a 2-bedroom, 2-bath apartment. It was like 900 and some square feet, and that was $500 a month. Then the home we live in now, we lived in for 1 year before we bought it, and it was $500 a month for rent. Then we purchased it. We bought it for $65,000, and that was in 1997. Our house payment then was 7.25 interest, and we paid $633 a month for house payment. Then a few years later, we refinanced at a lower interest rate at 5.5. Got it down, and I paid it in 15 years. And our payments then were $763. And so you can see I've never paid even $800 to live somewhere. It was very affordable. And you know, when I read this, it actually kind of made me mad, because I thought, you know, people, we should be able, my opinion, and I'm going to go on a soapbox, and I know maybe, you know, it's just upsetting to me that you can't find an affordable place to live. And, you know, our income should match, you know, all of this. It shouldn't have increased by 4 times. You know, that's why, like I said, a lot of families are living together. And, you know, don't even get me going on some of the other costs of some of the things that are so pricey that people can't even afford it. I just remember, I really miss the good old days of when growing up, when you know, people were paid a fair working wage. You had good benefits. If you wanted to go to the doctor, and you could afford it. If you wanted to buy a home, you could afford it. You still lived frugally, but you had money for some of these really important things, like buying a home or renting or going to the dentist if you needed to. And now some of these things are so costly that you have to make a lot of money to be able to afford them. Anyway, that's just my view. You guys can let me know what you think. I know it's our responsibility to make money and to support ourselves. I do understand that. But I personally do not think it's right to try to rent out a home, a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, that's not even that nice, for $2,100 a month. Anyway, this is my thought. So if I ever had to move, let me just say this: rural America, here I come. That's all I have to say. Let me know what you guys think. Love you. Bye.